different regions, different tunes, as the leaders in the PDP debate over where the presidential slot should go ahead of 2023 election. And President Muhammadu Buhari was in Lagos today, where he commissioned the new wing of the airport terminal and also the fertilizer plant in Lagos Island and also the Lekki Seaport. A warm welcome to you, everyone, wherever you may be watching. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Seun Okinbalo in Lagos. Well, the President Muhammadu Buhari was in the commercial city of Lagos today, where he commissioned the Dangote fertilizer plant in the Lekki area of Lagos. He inaugurated the multi-billion-dollar facility at an event well attended by many political, traditional, and religious leaders, as well as key members of the private sector from various parts of the country. From the Lagos Island area, he moved to the Lagos mainland, where the president also commissioned a new terminal of the Murtala International Airport in Lagos. The new MMIA terminal is expected to handle 20 million passengers a year. The terminal is also has about 6 sets of check-in counters and 6 boarding bridges. Take a listen to President Muhammadu Buhari at the commissioning.
Our continuous investment in the building of long-lasting infrastructure in the aviation, road and rail transportation, agriculture, telecommunications, and other critical sectors is yielding massive results, and the people of Nigeria are now increasingly attesting to benefiting from the associated dividends. Starting from the year 2015, when we commenced our first tenure in office as government, we have been deliberate and consistent in identifying and investing in critical projects that would improve the standard of living of our people, as well as contribute immensely to our growth and development as a nation. Despite obvious limitations in terms of availability of resources, our investments in interstate rail connectivity, road networks, agriculture, power and telecommunication, just to mention a few, have been unprecedented. Bearing in mind the importance of airport infrastructure as a catalyst for economic growth, foreign direct investment, and development globally, this administration decided to prioritize the completion and delivery of 5 brand new international terminals, which were at 11% completion level when we came into power in 2015.
But as President Muhammadu Buhari today to the various commissioners, that's especially at the new terminal of the International Airport in Lagos. Well, there's a lot to talk about, just as every other day, right here on this program. But before we get into all of the controversies relating to the zoning arrangement in the People's Democratic Party, as to where the candidates at the presidential election will come from, let's check out some of your political roundup stories.
Days to the National Convention of the All Progressives Congress, an aspirant for the position of the national chairman of the party, Dr. Sani Shinkafi, has withdrawn from the race. Dr. Shinkafi, a former national secretary of the party, hails from Zamfara State, northwest Nigeria. He alluded his exit from the race to the zoning of the positions of the North Central. He concluded that the party decision is supreme. He was speaking in Gusau during a media engagement.
I know what is called party administration and what is called respect.
We don't want to waste our time to be commenting about that.
The embattled governor of Ebonyi State, Dave Umahi, has called for calm among his supporters in the face of his legal battle to retain his seat, having been ordered by the Federal High Court in Abuja to vacate it. The governor was speaking during the stakeholders meeting of the All Progressives Congress in Abakaliki, the state capital. He expressed confidence in the Court of Appeal to help him retain his position as governor. He also used the occasion to clear the air as regards who succeeds him. Governor Umahi said he's not supporting anyone for the position of the governor and advised whoever is interested to slug it out with other aspirants.
So everything is now before the Court of Appeal, but nothing to worry about.
Former governorship candidate of the Independent Democratic Party in the 2019 Imo governorship elections and the present chieftain of the People's Democratic Party in Imo State, Ike Ibe, has made public his intention to join the race to become the president of Nigeria in 2023. He declared his intention during the press conference in Owerri, the Imo State capital. Mr. Ibe said he's running on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, having gotten endorsement from several party faithful across the country. He raised concern over the party's decision to throw the presidential nomination form to every section of the country. He asked that the presidential ticket be zoned to the southeast of the country. This, he said, is in the interest of equity and justice and to avoid rancor among party members.
The time to defer to reason and justice is now. It should unequivocally zone its presidency to southeast. For Nigeria, a new beginning is possible.
For the review of all the people of Kaduna State.
The former Chief of Staff to Governor Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State, Mohammed Abdullahi, has declared his intention to contest for the governorship seat of the state in the 2023 general elections on the platform of the All Progressives Congress. He pledged to consolidate on the achievements made by the current administration. He was speaking while unveiling his 6-point blueprint on moving Kaduna forward together. Abdullahi, who is currently the Commissioner for Budget and Planning, said he's running because he's learned a lot from Governor Nasir El-Rufai, having been a part of his administration since 2015.
We want to invest in people starting from the ward level.
All right, there you have it, your political roundup stories. You've now been updated. Now, the Nigerian Bar Association, the NBA, has been reacting to the judgment of the Federal High Court in Umuahia that gave a ruling on the Section 8412 of the Electoral Act. The NBA has called on its legal practitioners and the public to exercise restraint. The NBA has also called on Nigerians, especially legal practitioners, to refrain from employing intemperate language to characterize judgments and all judges of the courts. Well, the NBA president, in a statement sent out today, says a part of that statement, quote, while it is a truism that justice delayed is justice denied, and that we have long complained about the delays that ordinary litigants face in the determination of their rights and obligations before our court, it is also correct that justice rushed is also justice crushed, especially in cases of public interest, such as the case at issue. Consequently, the NBA will immediately apply for the certified copies of the judgment, the process found, and the record of proceedings in the case from the Federal High Court, Umuahia, and thereafter decided on the next appropriate steps. That is a statement signed by the president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Mr. Olumide Akpata. Our major focus tonight on the program is about the People's Democratic Party, the PDP. There is a matter of zoning, which has now become a big deal in the opposition party. Yesterday, major stakeholders and leaders of the People's Democratic Party in the south region of the country resolved to support the region to produce the party's presidential candidate in the 2023 general elections. They met in a one-day PDP South Stakeholders Summit held in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. And here are some of the governors who spoke at that event.
Today in Nigeria, when you are talking PDP, PDP is synonymous with South-South. You've been the pillar holding this party in storm and in good times. So I just want to believe, when it's a time for reward, PDP will not forget South-South.
If the South-South is the pillar of PDP,
then they must be treated with fairness, justice, and equity. It is not only when it comes to work, it is not only when it comes to give vote. We would all remember that South is the pillar. When it also comes in terms of sharing, they should remember that this is the pillar of the party.
That is a position of the South leaders at their meeting in Uyo, South region of the country. Now, it does look like that feeling and that notion, the school of thought, is permeated through the southern region of the country. Now, in the southwest, today in Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State, the leaders of the PDP in that region are closing ranks ahead of the general elections to ensure that the party emerges stronger with better chance at victory. At the extended zonal caucus meeting at the Oyo State Government House, Agodi Ibadan, the group added its voice to the call for southern presidency as a way to engender equity, peace across the country. Take a listen to some of the leaders. Well, part of it you hear Mr. Adagundo will read out the communique of the meeting, and of course the governor of Oyo State.
Because of disunity within and amongst us in the southwest, we lost out in the scheme of things nationally. And this is something that we can prove. It's not some idea coming from a space. When the founding fathers of this party came together, they spoke about fairness, about equity, about justice, and they decided that the 6 major positions nationally must be shared among the 6 zones of Nigeria. And we don't want to walk that path again. It has happened to us before, and it must not happen to us again. And the only way it won't happen to us again is first, we have to unite. We have to de-emphasize whatever issues we have with ourselves individually.
Well, it appears some leaders of the PDP may have different views to the zoning arrangement. Well, let me allow you to listen to the governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Tambuwal, on this matter. Take a listen to him.
University for them, we will have enough professors and.
So I'm giving you this analysis so that together as leaders of our party who are working towards winning election, not zoning, not winning ticket. Yes, you can share a ticket because you can tear it and everybody will take his piece and go to his zone. But you must plan to win election. That is the reality of it. It's not anybody's making. I didn't make myself to come from Sokoto, a Fulani man. No, it's God. God could have decided for me to be born somewhere else, not even in Nigeria. So we must accept these realities as a party and work with these realities to win election. After winning, we come down and say, okay, let's share this power. Let's share power. Win election first. Don't win zoning, no. Win election, and then we come and share power. Because the president and the vice president cannot come from the same zone. They cannot even come from the same region. Am I right? In fact, they can hardly be of the same faith. If you have president and vice president, Muslim, dead on arrival, in the current Nigerian situation. If you have president and vice president, Christian, dead on arrival. So you must balance the ticket. And we'll sit down and look at, okay, Senate President, this. We cannot do what APC has done, especially this second term. because we believe in this country, we know this country, we understand the dynamics and complexities of Nigerian nation. Otherwise, how else will you look at the lineup in a federal government like Nigeria? President, Vice President, Senate President, Speaker, Deputy Senate President, Deputy Speaker, SGF, Chief of Staff, even Chairman of Party, none from Southeast. We can't do that. Well, we are involved. I am involved. That cannot happen. So what we need is inclusiveness. We get power, we have inclusiveness, and accommodation for each other, transparency, and then we run the country. To be president of Nigeria requires a lot of energy. Not boxing, no. And intellectual capacity. You need to understand Nigeria itself. So,
you heard the governor of Sokoto State, who also has thrown his hat in the ring on this matter. I allow you to listen to a lot of what he said, because I want to get some reactions to the things that he said. Now, on Sunday, we had a guest because due to some technical issues, we could not conclude our conversation with him. He's a member of the PDP Board of Trustees, Chief Olabode George, and we've brought him back tonight on the program. Thank you so much indeed, Chief Bode George, for allowing to come back on the program tonight. Apologies for the technical issues that we had with you the last time you were here. And open an opportunity also to talk about this issue, because it's now becoming a bigger issue, even more than Sunday when we spoke about this matter. You heard what Aminu Tambu said, the governor of Sokoto State. How would you react to that, first and foremost?
Thank you very much, Sheung. You know, listening to Governor Tambua, who is my genuine brother, and laying out his proposals and his suggestions and his methodologies of achieving, I think in a nutshell, he had put the cart before the horse. How do you win an election first, then you come back to zoning? That looks illogical. The founding fathers of this party sat back in 1998, looked back from the first republic, what actually were the mitigating factors for this unnecessary friction in this country. That's how they decided that they divided Nigeria into 6 geopolitical zones. Then they looked at the 6 top positions in the land, because in the First Republic, majority, they had their way, minorities were onlookers. In the South, the majorities had their way, the minorities were onlookers. That created so much tension and friction. It led us to the first coup, led us to the civil war, led us to all kinds of instability in the system. So our founding fathers haven't experienced all that. They gave this country a model, a special gift to the future generation. They came up and divided Nigeria into 6 geopolitical zones. Northwest, northeast, north central, southwest, southeast, south, south, and came up with the 6 top positions in the land. The president, the vice president, the Senate president, speaker, the secretary to government, and the national chairman of the party. You know, the beauty of that is this. You could see the synergy created. The executive, president and vice president, the Senate president and the speaker, that's the legislative arm, and the party. So there was a connection, which is necessary in any political setup. It was on that basis they said, look, no state, no zone will go home without any of these top positions. That guaranteed the oneness, the unity, the involvement of every part of Nigeria. You know, if you now say, yes, let's go to an election, and after that, let the best man come, and after that, we can share it on zonal basis, that's illogical. You see, in South Africa, individuals don't contest. It is the party that is put forward. In South Africa, because of the experience they had during the dark old days, if there's an election in South Africa, like we have all these political parties here, they will put up the parties. People will vote for the parties. And after the elections, they will count the results. Party A will have this, Party B will have that. If it is in the presidential, then they'll ask Party A.
Chief George, if I may quickly cut in.
So it is not like we are doing here.
I'm going to make reference to the incidents of, the event of yesterday and that of today. Incidentally, these are coming from the southern region of the country. The South had their event yesterday in Uyo. The Southwest, you were there at that meeting in Ibadan. So, and it does look to me that the southern region of the country in the party are not shifting grounds. They want the presidential candidate at all costs. And it does go with what the southern governors said last year when they met in Lagos and said, look, the candidate of the parties should be from the south. But some northern leaders have said, you cannot hoodwink or you cannot force the north to agree with you. You have to persuade. We have to be on the same table. How are the southern leaders, especially one that you are a chief, talking to the northern leaders in making them see a reason why the slot should go to the south?
You know, that is why, Sheung, this is why I told you that I went historical to tell you and inform you how this came about and what was the major urgency for doing it, to remove the vagaries of the uncertainties, the tribalism. Even if you remember, in those good old days, the First Republic, we had all political parties were completely tribal in outlook. But what we are saying now is simple. The constitution of our party, Section 3, page 5, subsection 3D, states unequivocally that one of the tenets of the constitution of our party, the adherents in our constitution, is that zoning and rotation must be the spinal cord of our party. And you know what that means politically. If your spinal cord in the human body is cut, you are either paralyzed or you are dead. So people who are now saying, no, don't let us do that. Let us try, first of all, anybody can contest from anywhere. You are kicking the can down the road and it will be absolutely combustible.
Apologies again for cutting.
Let us call a spade a spade.
If the slot, the presidential candidate, is not zoned to the south?
No, you know, this is why there is a committee that is being set up by the party. Every state will be represented. There will be very robust discussions on the need, the reason for either zoning it into A or to zone it to the south. And the beauty of it is this: there will be no election. On moral suasion purposes, we will convince ourselves. We will bring out the best of academic discussions, robust discussions, analysis, data, why it should be to the south. And the important thing there is that people are saying the party should be quiet on it. You remember when APC came in 2015? They said, we don't believe in zoning. Today, they have found that it is so cardinal, so important for this nation, because we are still building up this democratic dispensation. We take one step ahead, so many steps behind. It's not working. Let us bring ourselves to that point of that sense of belonging, that sense of wanting to be part of this massive nation. But so, if you don't do that, again, and you now want to remove the goalpost halfway through the match, you are going to fail. The Southwest also
let me take you to a very
absolutely
strong point of your very strong area, which is engineering. You had your background in engineering, and part of that is you do a lot of mathematics, a lot of permutations, a lot of strategy. And as a retired military officer, you understand strategy so much. So now, there are those of the school of thought, like Governor Tambuwal, who believe that you need to win an election first. When you're going to the house of a strong man, you need to understand that how to arrest him first before plundering his house. Now, the question is, the APC had given your party bloody nose twice consecutively. 2015, you were beaten. 2019, the PDP was beaten by the APC. And those who believe that, look, the APC has about 20 governors and control about 20 states in the federation and hold power at the center. How can your party be able to defeat the APC if you do not put forward a very strong candidate, not minding where that person comes from in the first place?
You see, okay. Now, let me be very clear. As a strategist, are you telling me that all the four corners of this country cannot produce men of high-pitch quality in character, in education, in performance? There's no part of this nation that will not be able to present such characters. You see, when you start thinking you should only be here, leave it open, you can't do that now, because Nigeria, we are still building up. And you know, you spoke about mathematics. The political equation, what I reduced the whole discussion of our founding fathers to, was a simple straight line equation, y equals mx plus c. Those founding fathers never thought that there will be an occasion that another political party will present a president. Now it has happened. So if we go back to our political equation, y equals mx plus c, there is a new parameter that has been added. And that parameter, our brothers are saying, forget about it, it doesn't belong to our party. He cannot work. President Buhari, is he from Umuahia or is he from Ibadan? No. We must weave it into the consideration. And I am happy because our party has set up a committee. The best of hands, the best of minds will meet. We will debate, we will discuss, and we can resolve this amicably. It's a family meeting. It is not yet a Berlin Wall that, you know, you are down on your trenches here and I'm down on my trenches and we can't crisscross. No. It will also Chief, affect
we need to,
the future perception of this country. So we got to be very, very careful.
But before I allow you to go, because I know you have to make a trip, but you just have to create time for this interview. Just in 30 seconds, if you quickly can react to this. Yeah. Several times you've spoken about Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who incidentally turned 70 a few days ago, or was it yesterday? And you said sometimes that you will go to Togo. The other time you said you will go to Ghana if he becomes president of Nigeria. The question is, what personal thing do you have against Bola Tinubu that you so much speak about his ambition of wanting to become president of Nigeria? If you can talk with that for me in 30 seconds before our break, I'll be very glad.
Seun, I have absolutely no personal grudge against him. The grudge I have against him is the plundering of the finances of this state. And I am challenging you and your friends in the media, even including the global world, which country would have the internal revenue service and would now set up a company solely owned by him and his cronies, collecting the taxations, the taxes of the people on behalf of the internal revenue service? How? This doesn't make any sense. This fellow has plundered and has mismanaged the finances of this state to a stupor that calls attention. When I was saying it many years ago, everybody thought it was political. Somebody, whether Akpakpa or Akpata, who was his managing director, came out with a protest, a petition against that. Up till now, nobody has opened it up. And I said, look, if this is what Nigeria wants, look, who is perpetually the Senate representing Lagos? 3 times already. Who is the Oloja of Lagos? So he will be president of Nigeria. His wife will be Senate president of Nigeria. His son will be governor of Lagos. His daughter will be Oloja General of Nigeria. Come on. Come on. He has completely annexed the resources of my state.
We're totally
in definition.
We're totally out of time.
The governance is about.
I know that Bola Tinubu,
let him answer them.
The presidential aspirant should be able to speak to this matter on this kind of issue that you have raised. But
he should come and explain to the public.
Chief Body Judge, a member of the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party. Thank you so much indeed for staying with us and coming on the program tonight. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll look again into the zoning arrangement and the kind of headache that the PDP is having ahead of its primary in deciding who becomes its presidential candidate ahead of the 2023 presidential election. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. We've been talking about the zoning arrangement and the rotation agenda of the People's Democratic Party. A lot of people will ask the question, isn't the PDP that started this idea in the first place? But, well, there are all those views and opinions as to where to zone it, where will it go, the issues of equity and fairness. But let's listen to a former spokesperson of the People's Democratic Party, Chief Olisa Metu, on the issue of zoning. His position. Take a listen to him.
About zoning, we are talking about zoning. Zoning connotes fairness, equity, natural justice. That's what we've been told. If it connotes equity, fairness, and natural justice, I would have thought that the advocates of zoning would first of all zone in their own states to show transparency and to show that they are very, very objective about what they're doing. But a situation where you have people that come from states and some aspects of their states have not tested governor in decades, and yet you have not decided to handle your state or be a voice in your state to advocate fairness and equity. But you insist that you will continue going to a particular area because you feel that you need to win the election. Why are you turning to the center, the national, to speak about equity? Is it that you are determined to hold your state and will lose the federal election? Because if you are serious about winning the presidential election, you should use the same parameters that you are using in your state on the federal level.
Well, Chief Olisa Metu, his argument, the state, the federal, how do you place the zoning if you're talking about it, if you are in the state, and what does it matter, or how it relates to the national level of those who are thinking that if the South-South is a backbone of the PDP, should they have the opportunity to get the presidential candidate of the party? The Southwest is also saying that the slots should go to the South. South. The big question is the Southeast, the northeastern region of the country, the north central region of the country. We always also say we have we also have the right to have the presidential candidate. Let me allow you to listen to yet another view on this issue of zoning from the People's Democratic Party.
It is therefore very important that we unify the party. By unifying the party, we win elections in the state chapters. By winning elections in state chapters collectively, we will be able to put those votes together as they come, and will definitely win the next presidential elections. We are out not just to win the next presidential election, but to increase our membership in the various houses of assembly in each state, to increase the number of governors of the country, to take full control of the National Assembly as we did at the outset of the party. And that is the only way the president will be comfortable to do the work of reuniting the country, a country very badly divided by the current administration, by the ABC. We will reunite the country and rebuild it from the wards through the local government, through the states to the federal level, and restore the dignity of Nigerians as a people and the respect which we should usually enjoy in the international community.
All right, that's the chairman of the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Senator Yocha Ayu. Stay with me, everyone. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll be hearing from Governor Aminu Tambuwal, the governor of Sokoto State, on this issue of zoning. He recently declared his intention to run for the president of Nigeria. This is not the first time. We'll hear what is different this time around. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us now. I'm now being joined by the Executive Governor of Sokoto State, Honorable Aminu Tambuwal. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Sean, for having me.
This is the second time you want to be president of Nigeria, and you wanted the ticket of your party. The question is, what has changed? Why this time around?
Well, the first time in 2018, the issues have remained the same till this moment of insecurity, of the economy, of the general decay in infrastructure, and several and varying challenges afflicting our nation.
So they're the same?
Virtually the same, and the fault lines have been sharply widened.
So, and you are the man that
the unity of this country is at stake.
And you're the man that you think you can fix those problems?
I believe I can.
Because you're talking about strength, you're talking about mobility. Beyond mobility and strength and being youthful in look and all that, I mean, don't you think that this nation deserves more than all that?
This nation deserves more than all that. I've been talking about competencies. I've been talking about someone with the requisite experience of operating a federal governance system in Nigeria, and someone who has the knowledge and experience of the complexities of Nigerian state. And I believe that I possess those qualities.
But, I mean, the big question now is where you come from. There's some of your friends that have challenged the sensibility of wanting the presidential candidate of the party to come from the north. And, for example, the governors of the South, they met yesterday, and they said the South is the backbone of the PDP, and they want the ticket to go to the South. The Southwest leaders have also met today in Ibadan, and they said the slot should go to the South. The government of the South last year in Lagos State all decided unanimously that the slot of the president should go to the South. What is your view on that?
My view is that the president of Nigeria should be such a person that should be Nigerian president, not a regional president. The president of Nigeria should come from wherever, provided he has the capacity and the competence to fix Nigeria of the moment. The Nigeria of 1998 is different from Nigeria of 2022, 2023. And as I said before, APC in 2015, deliberately out of strategy, sought out President Muhammadu Buhari from Katsina State. Meanwhile, the last president of Nigeria from northern part of Nigeria was Malam Umar Musa Yar'Adua from same Katsina State, who died in 2010. Barely 5 years after, APC, out of strategic thinking, went to Katsina State and sought out President Muhammadu Buhari because they believe that they can win election with him. It is now that APC is talking about zoning. When they were looking for presidency and power, they didn't talk about zoning. They went for someone that they believe can check the boxes of that moment, who can deliver elections to them. So I am appealing to my party that we should be talking about how to win the election by the PDP, not necessarily zoning or where the president is coming from.
So, I mean, Chief Bode George earlier on the program said, you seem to have put the cart before the horse. That look, you need to look at the issue of equity and fairness before thinking about election. Why is winning the election more paramount for you?
If you talk about winning, if you talk about fairness and equity in PDP, PDP was in government for 16 years. Of those 16 years, close to 12 years, the presidency was in the south. President Obasanjo to President Olusegun to President Jonathan. President Umar Yar'Adua had only about 2 to 3 years. So in PDP, if you are talking about equity and fairness, the presidency, if you must zone, should come to the north. If you talk about the return of democracy in the Fourth Republic, by the time President Muhammadu Buhari would have finished his second term, would have had democracy for 24 years. Out of those, 10 years to 14 years were presidency from the south, 10 from the north. So where do you place equity and fairness?
So but why do you want to make it back-to-back? North, back-to-back? Why not north and go to the south, then go back to the north?
No.
Doesn't that look lopsided?
No, it's not.
If it's a north,
not necessarily.
Not immediately
not
after
necessarily.
north.
Well, I've been talking about, I'm making the point that we want to win election. We must think of how to win an election. And demography is key in winning an election. And as I said, APC, out of strategic thinking, went to Katsina, where the last president from the north came from, because they were planning to win the election. So what is fundamental for PDP as at today is to win. Then after winning, then we can continue to do the delicate balancing of power sharing.
You think you can win the election when the chips are down?
Convincingly.
You can defeat this APC, no matter who they bring forward?
Roundly. I have that conviction.
How do you speak to your brother, Atiku Abubakar?
He is my uncle, not my brother. I have a lot of respect for him.
What have you agreed with Bukola Saraki and Governor Mohammed?
Well, it's work in progress. We are talking to ourselves. And we shall approach Atiku Abubakar himself and other aspirants in the PDP to see how best we can all come together and stabilize our party and reduce the tension in our party and the polity and see how best we can, if possible, work a consensus. It has worked for us, and that was how we brought, for the first time, Dr. Yochi Ayu, to be chairman of the PDP. So it's not new to PDP, especially in recent times.
What would you be telling Atiku Abubakar?
How do you mean?
Are you able to tell him to his face that he should step down for you?
Not yet.
But are you able to tell him as your uncle?
I said not yet.
No, I'm asking if you will be able to confront him face to face, a politician to a politician.
We'll put the arguments across. We'll put the arguments across.
You think you're a better candidate than himself?
I'm not saying that I'm better, but all I know is that I possess the qualities, particularly when you are talking about Nigeria of today, that can deliver the votes for PDP.
So people will ask you the question, let's say that charity begins at home. If you want to be Nigeria's president, what have you done to the people of Sokoto State? What legacy would you say you have left? This is going to be your 5th or 6th year in being the governor and the M of affairs in Sokoto State.
Well, if you know Sokoto of 2015 and you go to Sokoto today, you will see the difference. in terms of infrastructural transformation, in terms of policies that were put in place that have made Sokoto to be #1 by the assessment of the World Bank, processed and warehoused by the Ministry of Finance, and SIFTAS, transparency and accountability. Sokoto is now second best in terms of ease of doing business, and we have done a lot in the educational sector. We have reduced significantly the number of out-of-school children. We have reduced the negative health indices of the state, maternal mortality in the state. We have built hostels. We are currently carrying out a number of projects in healthcare, in education, in water, and general rural transformation of the state. The facts are there. It is very clear that Sokoto, under my watch, has improved tremendously.
So you can boldly say that anybody who wants to check you should check you out in Sokoto State.
Very well, straight up.
And you take that template to the national level.
Very well.
I mean, today is not, I mean, we don't have all the time because I still have a lot of questions. I guess we'll bring you and analyze what you have done in Sokoto State and whether or not that can measure up to you being able to govern Nigeria as a whole. But let me ask you 1 or 2 questions on your fitness for the candidacy of your party at the presidential level. There are those who accuse you of not running a balanced committees when you were the House of Reps.
Before I answer that, I read online a medium saying that I said that South cannot produce the president of Nigeria.
Did you say that?
I didn't say that.
What did you say exactly?
Rather, in 2011, I supported a presidential candidate of South extraction, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, to win the presidency of Nigeria. And I have many friends in South who are competent, who are qualified to be president of Nigeria. I didn't say that. What I said has nothing to do with that. I didn't say that. So back to the question of balancing committees in the House of Reps. We ran a very transparent, all-inclusive House of Representatives of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in the 7th House of Reps. The facts are there. When you talk about balancing the committees, for the first time, Committee on Upstream was in the Southwest. Committee on Health and Appropriation were in the South-South. Committees on Works, Aviation, Foreign Affairs were in Southeast. Committee on Water Resources was in the North Central. Committee on Agriculture, Police were in Northeast. Committee on Education, Defense were in the Northwest. Even the new committee we created on diaspora was in the Southwest, and we gave it to Abike Dabiri. And it was from there that she cut her teeth and became a very good ambassador of the House of Reps and of that committee for her to be where she is today.
Because, I mean, those who take the lesson from there, that you were somewhat working against your party when you were Speaker of the PDP. And you were supported.
I was Speaker of the Republic of Nigeria.
But you were sponsored by your party, the PDP.
Of course, I believe so.
For those who are, I mean, accused you that you were working against your party.
Okay, tell me any of the bills of President Goodluck Jonathan that failed in the House of Reps. One bill.
But politically, you are aligned with other parties. That's what they were saying.
Politically, I was available to engage and have a consensus and chart way forward for Nigeria. Because the House of Reps is not a PDP house. It's House of Representatives of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
You're very firm and very strong on your stance of the openness of the zoning, that you don't want your party to box itself. What is the danger if your party go against your stance?
Well, it's a trial. I am maintaining my position. I may not say there's any danger, but what I'm saying is that I, as a politician, and from the indices, my party stands to have a better opportunity as at today, because time is running out of my party to make a formal position on zoning, especially when forms are being picked and almost issues are being joined on the presidency of this country. So it may be a bit too tight.
Are you telling your party tonight that Aminu Tambuwa is a man?
Very well. And not only my party, but Nigerians.
I have 2 quick questions for you, and I just have about 60 seconds to close the program. The first being that the APC had said there are plans by the PDP to destabilize this country, and the DSS had also come out that in some part of the country in the north, that are plans by leaders of the opposition and some very influential leaders to destabilize this country. How do you react to it?
I'm not aware of that. I don't know the source of their information. It's up to them to justify what they have said or to establish their case against those individuals.
On a final note is on the issue of security. Your state is embattled by this issue of insecurity. What solution comes to mind for you that can permanently fix the issue of banditry and insecurity in Nigeria?
First, addressing those issues that gave rise to it, issues of education, educating the public, getting the youth educated, employed, and of course, deployment of more personnel and technology.
Should you be president today, Governor Tambuwal, how long will it take you to fix the insecurity problems?
I can't say how long. Sean.
But how easy is it to fix it?
I have an idea of what to do. We must take it to the community level. We must go and address the issue of state police and get security closer to the people.
So you will go to the National Assembly for a bill on state police? Is that what you will do?
If it means me, Aminu Waziri Tambol, as President of Nigeria, taking the bill personally to the President of the Senate and the Speaker of the House of Reps, I'll do so. Because I believe it's one of the interventions that we need as a matter of urgency to nip the issues of security challenges in the board.
Governor Aminu Tambuwal, Executive Governor of Sokoto, said, many thanks indeed for coming tonight. And I wish you the very best in your pursuit of being Nigeria's president.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming tonight. Well, that's our show for today, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Okimale. Bye for now.